Okay guys, so welcome to Gorée Island. My name is Fallou, F-A-L-L-O-U, Fallou. I was not born here, but I was born in Chelsea, like 1 hour from Dakar, but I came here in this island in 2002 because my father was a teacher here in the primary school. And in 2017, he retired and built a house in Dakar. But me, I still living in the island. So 23 years, I'm here. So I grew up here. And I go everywhere in Senegal until in Gambia. So if you want to follow on the social media, my page is like Follow Business Father. And the origin of the island is volcanic. According to the geologists, the last eruption was about 13 million years ago. So it's why we are going to see a lot of black rocks in this island. So the black rocks that you see in the world is volcanic rocks. And the name is basalt. All the building in this island was built by these black rocks. And we are going to see 4 colors in the world: the green, the yellow, the white, and the red. And these 4 colors, they represent the 4 European countries that occupy this island: the Portuguese, the French, the Dutch, and the English. But it was the Portuguese who was the first to be here at 1444 by a navigator that called it Denis Diaz. But at this time also, when they come here with the missionary Catholics. So it's why when they arrive in this island, the first things that they built, it was like a chapel, a small church at 1481. And now it's become the police station. So the red buildings over there, it's the first building in this island. But here also, we are in the safety island. There is no aggression, no thief. Everybody know everybody. And imagine if someone steals your bag, you don't have to run behind him. You can go directly where you catch the boat and you wait him over there. Impossible to escape here. So it's why the policemen also, they don't have many things to do. Here, everybody know everybody. We are 1,800 people that live here in this island. 1,200 Muslim, 600 Christian, but we live in perfect harmony. So we don't have a problem with religion. We have a church and a mosque. And sometimes we can have like the mixed marriage. And also it was the French who was the last to be here until the end of the slavery, 27 April 1848. And the slavery, it was between 16th century until 19th century, around 400 years. And just after, we have the colonization here in Senegal by the French and until the independence in 1960. And we celebrate every April 4. And also during the slavery, it was not only in Senegal that had slavery house. Almost the country are next to the ocean in West Africa, so it has slavery house over there. Like in Benin, the name is Wida. In Gambia, the name is Kunta Kinte Island. We call also James Island. In Nigeria, Badakile Calabar. Cameroon, Bimbia. Togo, Maisonwood. Ghana, Elimia and Cape Coast. In South Africa, Cabo Verde. But here in Senegal, it was more important than the others because the Senegal is in West Africa, more closer to America. So it's why also these 4 European countries, they fight it between them for the occupation of this island because it was a strategic point. And also we have it something that we call it the triangular trade between Europe, Africa, America, and Europe. Because the European, they come in Africa to take the slave. After they bring them in the plantation in America, Brazil, Cuba, Haiti. And after it was the product that would come from to the plantation, like the tobacco, cotton, sugar, that they bring it in Europe. But at this time also, it was not the European that would go inside Africa to catch the slave because we have some tribal war between the ethnic here in Africa. And after the end, so it was the chief that they are going to take, they take the prisoner and to exchange them with the things that the European put in their boat when they come here, like weapon, mirror, alcohol, necklace, etc. because they don't use money. And they say a man and a young girl, they can exchange them with a gun. The women who have already children, they can exchange them with an alcohol, but for the children, it was just a mirror. So it's why also we say it was the black people that helped the European people. And in this island, there is no car, no pollution, no bike. But we have 2 donkeys in this island because there is people that clean the street every day. And we use the donkey to collect the garbage, and we have 2 boats to bring it in Dakar. So we try to keep the island very clean because every day we have the tourists that will come to visit the island. But never come on Monday because Monday is a day off and the slave house is closed. So we work between Tuesday until Sunday. And everything turned about the tourism. So the touristic guide, the restaurant, the hotels, the one that will sell memories from Gorée Island, the artist that will do sand painting. So it's why during the COVID-19, it was very difficult for us because we stayed 2 years without tourists. But at this time, it was the government that will help us to try to survive. And the place where we are is the place of Nelson Mandela. Because Nelson Mandela, so he came here in visit in 1991. But why he came here? Because Nelson Mandela, when he was in jail in South Africa, at this time the Senegal belongs to the country that give the diplomatic passport to the people that will go around the world to ask the liberation of Nelson Mandela. So that's why when he came from our jail in 1990, so he came here in 1991 to say thank you. And after also he went in Ghana. It was the occasion for him to visit the slavery house. And when we will arrive there, so we are going to talk about him again. So now we are going to see the first slavery house built by the Portuguese at 1536 and to visit the last one. And the slavery, in general, it was 400 years. But in this island, 350 years. The first European people that would sell a slave, he was a Spanish, Juan Cordoba in 1502. But the Spanish, they never be here in this island, just the Portuguese, French, Dutch, and English. Okay, so if you have a question, you can ask me. If you want to take a group picture also, you can ask me. I'm your guide and your photograph. Is that okay? Okay, let's go. Guys, Goree Island now is become a UNESCO World Heritage since 1978. So it's UNESCO World Heritage. So it's why here we cannot change the architecture of the building. We cannot change the color of the wall. So you are going to see 4 colors, green, yellow, white, and red. But in your own house, maybe you can change the color, but you choose between these 4 colors. And during the slavery, most of the house were next to the ocean and we had a door in front of the ocean. It was a slavery house. And we had more than 20 slavery houses in this island. But why all of them, they had a door in front of the ocean? Because at this time, the slave, they don't have toilet in their cells. And when they want to go to toilet, they go outside. So we had a bridge that they built with the wood of palm tree. And we can have many cells for men, women, young girls, children, rebels, etc. It was possible also to have a family, like the father, the mother, and the children. But when they arrive here, they live separate, because separate by the sex and the age. And when arrive the time to sell them also, they are going to sell them in different countries. Assalamu alaikum. They can sell the fathers in Brazil, the mother in Haiti, the children in Cuba. So the separation was very total. And when they live here, they never see them again. And this one, it is like the first slavery house built by the Portuguese at 1536. And now it's become a private house, the presbytery. It's where live the abbot that will celebrate the mass in the church. So the other slavery house also now, they become a private house or disappear. The government of Senegal, they keep just the last one built between 1780, 1784 to allow now the tourists to visit it. But now the others, they become a private house or disappear. And they had all the same architecture. It was the slave that will live downstairs and the European, they live upstairs. In this one, the punishment cells, it was under the ground. But we are going to see the last one, the punishment cells, it is like under the stair.
Is this the church?
No. Now the abbot that will celebrate the mass in the church.
So
now he live here.
Why does it have a cross on it?
Yeah, because like the abbot, the priest that will celebrate the mass in the church, he live here now.
Oh, they moved in.
Yeah, he live here. But we have a church.
Okay.
I will show you. Built at 1830. So here, you can see the map of the island. The island is 1900 meters long, 300 meters wide for an area 27 hectares. It's an island war very small by the size, but it's very big by the story. Yeah. All the tourists that come in Senegal, so they want to visit the island and also the slavery house. Actually, we are here in the street and the slavery house is like the number 12. So these red buildings in your left. And here, it's like the middle in the island. When we will be there, we are going to see it is the only place that can see the sea in both sides. Here's like the low part, and here it is the high part of the island, 36 meters high, the mountain, and where also we are going to see the biggest cannon in this island that we call the gun of Navarone, 6,600 tons by the French and during the colonization. Because you have to know, during the colonization, Dakar was the capital in West Africa, the French colonized. So it's why it was important for the French to control the seaway, the Atlantic Ocean, and to protect Dakar and Goree. So maybe after visiting the slavery house here, we are going to go to the high part of the island to see like the memorial and the cannon. And look at like this building, this yellow building, it looks like a bird. And this kind of building, before it was like the mixed children that will live it there. The mixed children will have a father's white and mother's black. Because during the slavery, the European, they never come here with their wife and they can stay here some months or years. So it's why it was an occasion for them to have sex with the young girl slave. They rape them. And when they become pregnant, they become free here in Goree Island or in Saint-Louis in the north of Senegal. Saint-Louis was the first capital until 1957. And after they are going to have a mixed children, father's white and mother's black. The boys, they call them mulatto, and the girl, they call them senhor. Senhor come from to a Portuguese word, senhora, but they never become slave here. And since the 1815s, they become French citizens. And we had one who was very popular, Victoria Albis, that we lived here in this house. She had also domestic slave at this time. And after when arrived like the independence, it's become the second tribunal in Senegal. And after this building, it's become also the Museum of the Women, but now it's the center of documentation, and where also the people, they can get the tickets to visit the slavery house. Okay, so let's go in front of the door. Marcel. maa ngi lay ziar. Excuse me. This one, it is the last slavery house, built between 1780, 1784, and actually we are in front of the market. Actually we are here in this room in your left. And this room before, it was like the waiting room, the wait, because only the men, they wait them. And if you have under than 60 kilograms, you are not going to do the travel immediately, because they are going to feed you like on animals around 3 months or 3 months half, waiting for the slave ship to arrive. Because at this time, the slave ship that will leave Europe, they can do 3 months or 3 months half to arrive here. But during these 3 months also, they give them beans, mix it with palm oil to make them fat. When the boat arrives, they weigh them a second time. And if you cannot have more than 60 kilograms, you are not going to do the travel, because it was a selection and only the best can go, the stronger men. But you are not going also to become free if you don't have the 60 kilograms. They are going to sell you here in Gorée Island or in the north of Senegal in Saint-Louis to become a domestic slave. So it was a selection and only the best can go. It was the slave that will live downstairs and the European, they live upstairs. And in the middle of the island, between these two stairs, it was the market, because the slave, they come one by one. We have the seller and the buyer stayed up to look at them. Because for the European, the slave, they look like a marchandise. They can palpate the slave to look at their teeth, try also to verify if it is a good quality. And here we have like 15 cells for men, women, young girls, children, rebels, etc. So we are going to see the different cells one by one. So this one, it is an example of men's cells, and it's like 2.60 by 2.60. Before, they can put between 15 or 20 slaves. But when they are here, they are just sit down like this, the back against the wall, and they have chains in their hands and their neck. But at this time, they was relaxed once a day to allow them to go to toilet and to eat, to walk around. And the toilet, it was outside. So we had a bridge that they built with the wood of palm tree, 25 meters. But imagine during the day, if they want again to go to toilet, so they was obliged to do it inside their cells. So it's why the first pandemic, the plague, the pest that killed many persons in this island come from to one of the slavery house at 1779. And we had a lot of pandemic, yellow fever, pest, and cholera. At this time, there is no medicine, no pharmacian. So it's why if there is a slave who is sick, they are not going to keep him here. They throw them in the ocean because they don't want the contamination. So they prefer to lose one slave than to lose more. It was the same things during the travel. If there is a slave who is sick, they throw them in the ocean. And when they leave it here also, the first thing that they lose the slave, it was their real name, because they give them a number here like the animals. And when they arrive at destination, the new master are going to give them a new name. So it's why now we can see the black people in America with like an English name. Like Toby, there is one slave, Kunta Kinte. So when he arrived at destination, so they give them the name of Toby. And when you go in France, they have a French name. Brazil or Cuba, the black, they have a Spanish name or Portuguese name. And maybe so if they live here with their real name, their grandson can know where they come from exactly just by the name. If they come from to Senegal, Benin, Nigeria. But maybe now the only things is they come from to Africa. And look at the windows. It's like bigger inside, smaller outside, because they don't want the slave try to escape. It's why all the windows in the extremity in this house, so they build them like this. And it was impossible for them to escape. So this one, it was for the children's, and it's like 7 meters long by 1 meters 30. And this one, they can put between 30 or 40 children. And the death here was children. Yeah. And the death here was more important because they are more fragile. They don't have clothes. And they say at this time they have between 6 and 12. But if you have under than 6, you stay with your mother in the cells for the women. More than 6, they bring them here, boys and girls. The first part it was for the boys and the second part for the girls. So at this time, it was only the older person and the person who are sick that the European, they don't need. But the others, they sell them all to go in the plantation. Men, women, children, everybody. Okay, so you mind your head when you go out, please. Right, yeah.
Le moyen de transport à l'époque, c'était les bateaux. Uniquement les bateaux à bois.
Okay, thank you. So this one, it was for the virgin girl or the young girl. But at this time, who is the virgin girl for the European? So it was the girl that have like the big breasts or the big chest, because they thought they are still virgin. So it's why they keep them here. And you see this one a little bit more bigger than the others. And here we have a hole. And the hole, it was connected to the ocean. It was the toilet, and the only cells in this slavery house that had a toilet at this time. But why this privilege for this young girl? Because the European, they never come here with their wives. So it's why it was the occasion for them to have sex with the younger slave. So they wanted to keep them clean when they become pregnant free in the island or in the north in Saint Louis. And after they are going to have the mixed children. The boys, they call them mulatto and the girls signor. And since 1815, they become French citizens. So it arrived a moment. It was important for this young girl to become pregnant after to become free, because it was the only way for them to become free. And we can see also we have windows everywhere. And it's almost the same things in every cell, because the European, they didn't want the slave can keep in their mind that they can have also a private life. Because when you are in a cell, you can know what happened in another cell. So they don't have a private life. And in French also, we had an emperor, Napoleon Bonaparte. So Napoleon Bonaparte, so he had a wife who was a mixed children, Josephine de Bonnet, who come from to Martinique. And here we are like in a small museum. So here we have a bowl, and the weight is like 21 pounds. Because the slave always, when they lived here, they was changed it 2 by 2. And between two slaves, they had this iron bowl. It's like around 21 pounds, because they don't want the slave try to escape. And here we have some kind of chains that they use it. Before the market, they look like this in this picture. This sand painting that we are since 1981. The slave, they come one by one, the seller and the buyer will set up, because maybe after we are going to see the artist that will do the sand painting. And here we have the brothers Jackson. Jackson, they come here in 1974, Jackson family. Nelson Mandela 1991, Barack Obama 2013. Here we have Christine Lagarde from FMI, the president of Ghana. And here we have Bill Clinton in 1998. And the 4 presidents that we had before, Léopold Sédar Senghor, Abdou Diouf, Abdoulaye Wade, Macky Sall. But Macky Sall, the former president, it is the worst president in Senegal. The Pope, so he came here in visit in February 1992. And when the Pope arrived here, so the first things he recognized, it was the missionary Catholic that would start the slavery in Africa. And they celebrate a mass in the church built by the French 1830. And after the mass, so he came here in front of the door of no return, and he asked it forgiveness to the humanity. So he apologized. But the former curator of the slavery house, Boubacar Joseph Ndiaye, he was a Senegalese military. So he answered him, we can forgive, but never forget. Yeah, he was a Senegalese military. He died in 2009. The most important part of the visit, we are in front of the door of no return. Before, if you pass this door, it's bye-bye Africa, you never come back. The slave, they come from to different country Africa. So it's why when they arrive here, they cannot communicate together, because they don't have the same language. They don't know why they are here and where also the Europeans are going to bring them. And when they live here, I tell you always they was changed 2 by 2. And between two slaves, we had iron bowls like 21 pounds. At this time, the slave ship, they cannot come closer, because we have some black stone here. So they put them in a little boat to bring them to the big boat. And there is some slave that will prefer to die than to do the travel. They jump inside the ocean. But if you do it, you are going to bring the other one who are chained with you. And with the iron bowl, they are going to die. So it's why at this time, there is many sharks in this part of the island. Because the slave was sick also, automatically they throw them in the ocean. In your left and your right, you see these 2 cells. It was for the slave already sold, waiting for the slave ship to arrive. So it was the waiting room. And here in your left and your right, it was like for the guard. And at this time, the guard, they choose them between the slave that were under than 60 kilograms, unless important, and will collaborate with the European people, but they don't have the choice. And I tell you, the slavery, so it was between 16th century until 19th century and 27 April 1848. According to the French archive, there is 20 million black people that leave Africa, 60 million direct, but it is the official number, because you have a Senegalese scientific, Cheikh Anta Diop, that will say the number is more important, because if you try to do the calculation only for Gorée Island, every 3 months or 3 months out, so we can have more than 20 boats that live here. And at this time, one boat can take 150 or 200 slaves. At the other side, like in Benin, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, South Africa, Cabo Verde. So that's why I say the number turn minimum around 100 million black people that leave Africa and to go to America. So it is like the greatest genocide that the humanity has never known. So here we are like in the women's cells. And the women here, they stay with their children that have under than 6 years. But if you have more than 6 years, they bring them in the cells for the children, boys and girls. The cells is bigger because it was also the kitchen where they prepared their beans, mix it with palm oil. And it was the woman that would do the work of transformation, and they give babies. And These things that you see in the middle with the water, it is a foundation that will come from the United States for the foundation that they put it here about the memories of the slave that leave Africa and to go to America. And now to allow the grandson, when they arrive here, they can take a time and to pray for their ancestor. And after praying, they can take the water to put it around. Now it's become a space for meditation. Inaugurated in July 2023, is something new. And the light that you see in the wall also, it was during the work of renovation. So here often we do some work of renovation to try to keep the house because it's very old. So now it's a space for meditation. So after prayer, you can put the water around the wall. So here, under the stair, it was for the punishment cells. And they don't care about the number of persons the cells can take. So it's why they can put between 5 or 6 persons. And inside you cannot stand up here. This one, it was for the women. We have another one here for the men. And Nelson Mandela, so when he came here in visit in 1991, it is the only cell that he get inside before to go to this door of no return. And they say he stayed over there around 10 minutes. So, and when he get out, he was crying because also he remember like the 27 years that we do in jail in South Africa, exactly in Gorée Island, and also try to imagine how the European people can make a human being under the sun around 3 days. It was the same. The two small windows that you see, they opened it at the end of the slavery, 27 April 1848. But it was the same for the men and the women. It's just something symbolic. And this one, so we call it the big cells for the rebels. Come here. This one, so we call it like the big cells for the rebels. Because after the 3 days under stay, if they continue to be rebels, they bring them here to keep them separate because they don't want like the rebels can have a contact with the others because sometimes we can have some rebellion. But the particularity of these cells, it is like this pole war in the middle because before they can use it also to attack the slave and to beat them, try to decrease them physically and mentally before to sell them. And at this time also they sell them in 2 destinations, in Jamaica and in Haiti because it was very difficult to live over there in the plantation. And it looked like a continuation of the Phoenician. Sometimes you can see like the Jamaican or the Haitian like a little bit nervous. So their grandfather was rebels. Maybe it's why they are like that. And the Haitian, they become also the first black people that become free since 1804. And in Africa, we have like many ethnic. But during the slavery, the most important ethnic, it was the Yoruba people. And the Yoruba people, they come from the west of Nigeria and east of Benin because they are tall and strong. After the Yoruba people, we have also the Bambara from Mali. Because when they arrive at destination, they are going also to have sex with the one slave and to give babies with the blood of Yoruba or Bambara. And when the children grow up also, they are going to become taller and stronger like their parents. Try to keep the continuity of this race. And now also is what we do with the animals. If we have a good race, we can breed them. It was the same with the slave, they selected them. Yoruba and Bambara, so was more important. Yoruba from Nigeria and Benin, Bambara, they are from Mali. And in Nigeria also we have another ethnic that we call the Igbo, where they put the food, the slave, etc. And if you see the disposition of the slave inside, so you can know they put the maximum. Because they know during the travel there is some of them that we are going to die. Because the travel can take 1 month or 1 month's half. Yeah. And behind you in this picture you can see a family that they try to sell separate. Because I tell you they can sell the fathers in Brazil, the mother in Haiti, the children in Cuba. So the separation was very total, and when they leave here, they never see them again. And the first European people who sell a slave, it was a Spanish, Juan Cordoba, in 1502. And in the balcony, so we had over there a kitchen and a toilet, it was for the European. So I can give like 5 or 10 minutes, you can see the exhibition. They write in English and in French. And me, I wait downstairs. Okay, so 10 minutes, you can see the exhibition. Yeah. They don't use their phone. They don't watch TV. Just studies and take a rest. They have fields for basketball and handball.
This school is open right now?
Yeah, it's open, yeah. Only for the girl, the best girl in Senegal.
Wow.
And the name of the school is Mariama Ba. Mariama Ba, she was a Senegalese woman writer, and she wrote a popular book. The name is So Long Later. And inside the book, she talked about like the social problems, the polygamy, and the emancipation of the woman. Because here in Senegal, we have two ethnic, they don't get married. It's like the storytellers and the jeweler. They don't marry together.
The storytellers and who?
And the jeweler. They make like the jeweler, like they don't mix together, yeah, until present. And we have also the polygamy, because here in Senegal, the Muslim, they can have more than one wife. They can have until 4 wives. But if you have one wife also, you have one problem. 2 wives, 2 problems. Imagine 4 wives in the same house. Actually, I'm still single, but I'm looking for a problem. No, it's like the sablier. This one is the opposite of the baobab tree, because if you eat the fruits, you can have automatically the diarrhea.
Diarrhea?
Yeah, hello. Wow, okay, man. And the baobab tree? Yeah, exactly. It looks like a little bit of baobab. We call it sablier. Yeah, sablier is the name. Shall we be moving on the way tournament? Okay, so now the ferry is coming. The ferry is coming. And the baobab tree is possible to know the age if you use the carbon 14th. And actually the oldest and biggest baobab tree, so we can find it in the Salum Delta, in the Salum Island. 1900 years and 32 circumference. How do you?
Simal.
Ah, true, okay, baobab tree. But
French people like call it
monkey. And also you have to know, this island was not discovered by the Portuguese. Because before the Portuguese to arrive, so we have the Senegalese fishermen that will come here in this island. It's like the community of Lebu. And the Lebu, they are the first people that will live in Dakar, but they never build something. And also the Lebu, they give the first name of the island. So if you see the ferry that will bring you, the name is Bière. Bière, it is the first island, is the first name of the island by the Lebu. And when arrived like the Portuguese, they give the name of Ilha de Palma, so the island of palm tree, because at this time there is a lot of palm tree. And after when arrived the Dutch, they give the name of Goree, because if you see the configuration of the island, the boat at this time they can dock easily here. But after it is the French that give the name of Goree, because the French, they take this island between the hand of the Dutch at 1677 by a French admiral that we call it Jean d'Estrées. And he preferred to take the first syllable of these two words, Goree, to form Goree. So Goree, yeah, Goree come from to Goree by the French. It's the primary school, and I live here with my family around 15 years.
You live here?
Before, but now I live with 2 friends. Now my family is in Dakar. So we live, the classroom is downstairs, and the family, they live upstairs, the teacher. I lived with my father from 2002 until 2017. And today is like the first day of the school year. Because here we start the school in October, because like July, August, November, yeah, it's like the raining season, and we cannot go to school. And this building, it was the first building, like the first school for the first president in West Africa, created by the French between 1913 until 1937.